Hey, you want to do some karate with Chuck Norris?
Yeah. I want to do something else with old fuck Norris.
Ooh, who's fuck Norris?
You'll see. He's in this movie.
Oh, yes, he is in this movie. That's true.
Hey guys, it's your favorite final girl and boy, Emily and Nick, with your favorite final babysitter, Mike.
Yo,
say something.
What up?
Coming at you with a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly podcast where we dissect, disavow, and shred the best and worst slasher movies. It's time to end the month of love with this fuck Norris joint. 1982's Silent Rage. Emily's going to read the box.
Oh, yes, I am. I forgot, but I am. Chuck Norris, 6-time world karate champion.
Yeah, good Chucky.
Stars in his first suspense film as the tough street-fighting sheriff of a small Texas town terrorized by a psychotic
is this
killer.
his first one?
Well, it's his first, it's his first movie like this.
Yeah, he's in like some Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah, he was in the last, or the Return of the Dragon. That's what it is.
Norris is faced with the dilemma of stopping the invincible murderer made virtually indestructible through genetic engineering.
Jack.
A young group of researchers are responsible for developing the serum, and the head of the research institute is determined to continue the genetic experiments regardless of the consequences. Norris displays fighting brilliance as he single-handedly routes a dozen brutal bikers from a truck stop hangout while revealing a warm and sexy side when he rekindles an old romance with Allison Hallman, a researcher at the institute. Excitement, horror, and romance prevail as Norris combats the killer. 1982. Your thoughts?
This is my thoughts on the $6 Million Psycho. It's pretty good. It's all right. I don't know, out of all the people they could have done this on, why they would have done it on this dude.
Mistake. I liked it a lot. I just saw RoboCop for the first time this year. I never seen it.
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm new to the RoboCop game too.
And,
when they showed it at Central Cinema last year is when I saw it.
But I even though very different.
He shoots that guy in the dick.
But I got RoboCop vibes from it. Although
bitches leave.
Clearly the themes in
dicky boy.
The themes in RoboCop are not the themes in this one, and it's a fucking insane person, not like a cop or whatever.
I call him Jack Kirby. Is that a comic book guy?
It's a comic book artist.
John Kirby.
His name's John.
But Jack
Kirby
short
is
for John.
John Kirby is his name. Yeah.
Jack is short for John. It's the same. What?
No.
Jack is a nickname for John, like Billy is for William.
No, it isn't. Yeah,
But
you're right. It is
Jack
actually
is John.
John F. Kennedy. They called him Jack.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Y'all trip.
Well, Richard, Dick, William, Robert, William. William is Bill.
Yeah,
Robert is Bob.
William is Bill. Robert's Bob.
Yeah, there are some that don't make any sense though, like how Richard's Dick. That's nothing like that.
I don't know how it started.
My name is short for Nicky Ticky Tabby.
Yeah, not Nicholas.
No,
It's not Nicholas.
My name is
short. My name is short for Emmeline. No, my name's not Emmeline.
Mikey is short for Michael.
Your name's short for. Your name's long for Emil.
Yeah. It's actually Emilio, and it's just the same length.
Yeah.
Actually,
Michelangelo.
I think Emilio has more letters, so yes, shortened for that as well. My name is Emilio Estevez. Go on.
Here you go, Nikki.
Okay, cool. Let's get us going, Mike.
All right. So there's some stained glass credits, and I was like, something's gonna have to bust through the stained glass window.
I really like that.
Nothing goes through the stained glass window.
It looks like it's gonna be a giallo almost.
So we hear a phone ringing. We also hear some little kids fucking going crazy. And we hear some squeaky voice lady screeching. And we hear the phone ringing. And then somebody starts knocking on this door. And this poor, sleepy, sweaty man is just like, oh, fuck my life. And the kid says the phone is for him. And he gets down to the stairs and gets on the phone. And he's like, doctor, I'm losing it. I can't do this. And he's shaky, and you can tell he does really good. This actor does a really good job of freaking out.
You can tell he's mentally unstable. Now, we don't know what happened.
I would be too. This guy's in horrific
we
conditions.
don't know what happened before this movie, but we do know that this is just a family he's staying with, and he does
It's not his family.
No, it's not his family, and he does have psychiatric problems because he's talking to his psych doctor on the phone. But we don't know if he killed anybody before this or anything.
But he ends up hanging up on this doctor, and he starts badly chopping wood, like really bad. He grabs an axe.
It reminded me of Friday the 13th Part 5.
Okay. Hello.
Sorry, that was my
And
bad.
the lady's being super annoying, dude. This lady would kill me to live with as well. She sends the kids outside and they're going crazy. And then she like makes the kids go to the playground, and he comes in and she can tell just by looking at him once, like, this motherfucker's about to split my wig.
Yeah, what gave it away? The axe.
He
and
starts
the fucking
chasing
sweat.
her with his axe, and he's hitting the door like all the Shining. And some guy comes up from behind him. I guess the guy, if it's a halfway house or something, lives there.
It's not a halfway house.
Well, this guy comes up from behind and hits him with a chair. And it doesn't really even faze old John.
John Kirby is his name.
John Kirby. The $6 million killer, is that what you call him?
$6 million man. I don't know. Something like that.
Well, the guy hits him with a chair, and John Kirby doesn't even sell it, dude. He just turns around and axes this dude right in the face. And the lady in the room of which he's pounding on with an axe, she's like, hey, mailman, call the fucking cops. This guy's crazy. And I guess help comes, and there's like a posse forming outside.
It's not just any help. Fucking Walker, Texas Ranger shows up.
And they get there. I didn't make very many notes
Fucking
on this. I made one note, and it was like the popo got there insanely quick,
especially for Texas.
Like
where are they supposed to be?
Texas.
It is Texas.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, it's like this happened, and the police came within seconds.
Chuck Norris isn't allowed.
You can tell she's dead because she finally stopped screaming.
Yeah,
I was like, thank God.
He's fighting Bruce Lee in Rome.
But Chuck Norris kind of just goes in, and he's walking through,
Texas.
And there's a little jump scare here with an ironing board, and he goes upstairs and he sees the dead dude, and he pulls out his big gun, and it's like a big .357, and then he finds the lady, and this guy John Kirby comes up from behind him, and they wrestle. There's lots of wrestling.
John
in this
Kirby
movie.
plays a really good crazy guy.
Yeah, super good.
He was born to play.
His facial expressions are really, really good.
Especially once he's on the drug, he looks like a fucking robot, and there's like this bone in his chin.
Started out looking like he was on drugs the first time you see him in this movie.
Did you see the bone like on the side of his neck that sticks out?
He's just like he's really his because for the rest of the movie he will be mute.
Yeah.
But he does really well with his physicalities, I guess. Is that what you call it? I just thought he did really well in the role.
He'd be a good wrestler.
Sure.
Pro wrestling.
Do you want to make it like that?
Wrestling.
I think he could be a good actor.
No, he's a great actor. I think Bill Libby's a fine thespian. So John Kirby jumps off the roof trying to evade. And the fucking Deputy Charlie, who I love in this movie. I love Big Fat Deputy Charlie. He's Flounder from Animal House.
Yes.
He tries to shoot at the fleeing man.
The fat guy from Animal House.
He almost...
Well, not John Belushi, the other fat guy.
He almost shoots Chuck Norris in the face, and that would have been the end of the movie.
You mean Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
And the eyes
his name's
of the Ranger
Dan.
are upon you.
What is
his name's Lieutenant Dan.
His name's not Lieutenant Dan.
It's Dan.
Is it Dan?
Sheriff Dan.
Sheriff Dan.
But Chuck Norris kind of loses him, but he catches up, and the killer comes up behind him with a 2x4 and tries to strangle him with it, and they fight some more. And he gets
Psycho is fucking tough. He gives Walker fucking a run for his money.
The Psycho gets knocked out by the board, and he gets cuffed, and the cops take him away. And that's when Dr. Holman shows up, and they kind of argue, and he's like, you can talk to him down at the county jail. But this fucking guy, dude, he's so strong, he busts out of his handcuffs.
And kicks the door off of the car.
Off the goddamn car. And the cops just blow him away. They're like, fuck this. Even though Chuck Norris is like, don't shoot him. And the doctor's like, don't shoot him. But they're doing, like, surgery on him. And I've written down that he was a bullfighter. Is that real?
A matador?
I think the doctors say that he was a bullfighter.
The killer was a matador?
I must have been tripping.
What?
These gummies, man, I'm telling you. Cloud 8. It's legal. Delta 8.
Oh.
To bless America.
The doctor tells Chuck Norris that he's going to be tender because he has some broken ribs.
Tinder.
And this isn't a real fucking hospital. It's a.
Then they say something about his muscles, and it's like he's standing in the lobby with his shirt off, and he's just like, "But the muscles are okay." And they're like, "Yeah, they're great." He's like,
"You look
fine."
great.
Chuck Norris is only there to. Are the muscles good?
So, this is a research hospital. It's not like a real hospital with like. I guess maybe they do emergency shit, but somehow these doctors, Vaughn, Holman, and what's the bad guy's name? Bad doctor. Phelps? Pipes?
Spires.
Dude, one of the tall one with the glasses is the Phantom of the Paradise.
Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah, man.
That's right. They're testing a new drug. This drug like heals everything. Like they're cutting this motherfucker with a scalpel twice, and he's just like growing right back.
Well, okay, this poses like a lot of stupid questions, but I'm not a doctor, but if you were trying to perform surgery on somebody who had this concoction in their body, it would be nigh impossible. Because like you'd have to have some kind of weird clamp to keep it from healing back immediately.
Yeah.
And also, whenever they pull out the concoction
but why would you have to have surgery?
When they pull out the concoction to inject into the psycho, it's like, I'm surprised the dude he gave it to, the Phantom of the Paradise dude, he looked at it weird, but he wasn't like, what is this, like wine? Yes, pump the patient full of Cabernet Sauvignon. It'll keep him alive forever. Like,
this isn't like, they're like using a shit ton of this stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was 5 million units every hour, they say at some point. But while this is happening, we see Chuck Norris with a girl who ends up being the sister of Dr. Holman, the one who had been on the phone also, and at the shooting.
Dr. Holman is like extraordinarily New York. Like his accent is like it's like Serpico down in Texas. Or something.
Allison kind of strikes me as a big city girl too.
Maybe, yeah.
Big titty girl. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Woof.
Yep, tits are out there, Mike. You'll see them one day.
You'll see him in this movie.
I mean, for real.
But so the original Dr. Holman, he's fucking pissed. He can't believe that they just are keeping a murderer alive, but he's impressed by the results, you know. They pretend like the other two doctors pretend like they're just gonna let him die, but as soon as Holman leaves, they're like, give him another dose, and we see Chuck Norris with Dr. Holman, and we find out that Allison is the doctor's sister. And
Chuck's ex.
And Chuck Norris, it's Chuck's ex, and he needs a lift to the station, and she does indeed give him a lift.
Dude, no, he gets all handsy in the car, and she's like, stop, but it works.
But it's been 6 years. They broke up 6 years ago, and there's no chance, she says, of them going to bed together. And then you see them in bed together. Yeah, it works. I do not understand the workings of the women. But we see the deputy, Charlie Flounder. He's at the burger joint, and he gets 2 burgers, and you think he's eating with somebody, but nah, man, he's got 2 burgers and fries for himself.
Yeah.
A man after my own cholesterol-ridden heart. And this is when we first see the...
well, then Sheriff Chuck Norris comes in and orders some hot tea.
Some hot tea.
Yeah.
And a biker makes fun of him, and there's this lady with big tattooed boobs. I didn't find her attractive at all, guys.
Well, it's shocking.
Did I ever tell you guys that story of whenever I was on tour? One time, me and the drummer were out. We were at a motel on the side of the highway, and we were smoking a cigarette. And this guy, he's this big dude, looked like prison fodder, comes down. And he goes, "Hey man, you got a light?" And we give him a light. And he goes, "Hey, you boys drink?" And we say, "Yeah, man." He goes, "I'll be right back." He runs up and comes back with literally a pint glass full of vodka and gives it to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, no man, here, have a sip with me. And I was like, okay. So I shoot a little bit of this vodka, and he's like, man, I've been fucking this girl up in my room. I think she's racist. And we were like, what makes you think she's racist? Like, I don't know what this is. And he goes, she got swastikas tattooed on her titties. I was like, yeah, she's probably racist. And I was like, hey man, like, I was like, what's your name? And he just looks at me and goes, Lunchbox. And I was like, okay, like what the fuck?
So Lunchbox, is fucking some Nazi lady
in his room
and runs out and gives you
a pint of vodka.
A pint glass full of vodka.
Yeah, for no reason. I did not ask
You
for
guys
this.
at like a gas station?
No, it was a motel. Like we were on tour. Like yeah,
Splurging.
But yeah, so
You don't
tattooed
just sleep in your
titties.
van like a real band.
Yeah, well, we've done that.
I'm just kidding.
You try it out. It sucks.
So now we see some doctors. There's lots of shit where it's like, oh wait, no. First flounder, it's like, can I have your onions? Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Emily hates the shit out of me.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what y'all. I zoned out. I was thinking
You
about
were,
something. Sure.
Were you thinking about if you could have my onions?
No, I was. I was actually thinking about.
He's like, can I ask you a question?
No, I was
Can
actually.
I have your onions?
No,
He's
I was
so
thinking
serious
about
these
honestly.
onions.
What I was thinking about is if you were like a Wall Street type, like really rich guy in New York City in 2018 or something. Like, where would you buy drugs? Like, would you have to go to the Bronx or Queens, or could you just? Is there a guy that lives in?
You could
I think you probably just go down to the corner and get whatever you want.
That's what I'm thinking
But if
too.
you're really rich, maybe you have like a middleman.
Well, yeah, you
Your
probably
middle
do.
class friend.
a runner.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like give him money and he
Yeah.
brings you your shit.
T-boy, coffee
But
boy.
you just have to do it with him. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm having company. You're gonna have to go. So, yeah. I'm trying to find my place. Do you guys remember?
Shocker.
Do you guys remember?
You were talking about onions.
Oh yeah, okay. So Charlie wants the onions.
I don't know why.
Charlie's
that's so
the best
amusing.
part of this movie. I'm sorry, but
Are
Charlie.
you talking about? It's Charlie Flounder.
Flounder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was really. I was.
Can I
really,
have your onions? He seems like he's from New York too, doesn't he?
No. He seemed like he was from Animal House.
So,
So.
The bikers.
Charlie's like, I don't know if I could be a
If
cop.
you go
man.
on any more
I
about
really-
these fucking onions, get to the bikers.
No, he's like, I don't know if I like violence, and he talks about fucking freezing his dog.
Yeah.
He freezes his childhood dog. He's like, I didn't say this in my interview, but I don't know if I can be a cop because when I was a kid, I accidentally froze my dog to death.
Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So the formulas work, and these doctors.
He's tired of hearing about it. Steve's back here, the dog.
He's fucking
He's
sawing wood.
snoring real loud because Mike has put him to sleep in a matter of, let's see, how long did it take? 17 minutes, and he is could die soon.
So
I mean, he's like basically
the
sleep
doctors are on
apnea.
the computer looking at these scans of genetic
People have stopped
codes.
listening a long time ago.
No, man, this is what they're here
Whoever
for.
wrote boring on our Friday the 13th episode had to delete the comment.
So,
But
did I
now we
mention that
understand.
Chuck Norris and Allison have already had a night of sex?
Yeah, but very awkward.
So they're talking
in my
about
opinion.
they're talking about last night with the finger quotes, and they're arguing, and Allison's not into it, then she's into it, but Chuck Norris can't get the body from the hospital for some reason.
Well, that's
They're
because
like, pick it up tomorrow.
Well, they're
'Cause the
doing
doctors-
shit with it. That's
And
why.
the doctors are always arguing.
Oh yeah, well
It's like-
because
it goes back like there's so many cuts from scenes about doctors talking for 5 or
well, it's because
30 seconds.
it's because it's
Then
a
the
huge.
cops.
I think they're trying to really like push home this morality question, like the fact that they really want you to know that some of the doctors are kind of not 100% cool with this, and
Yeah.
some of them are like, no, we're gonna do it.
and the
But
other one's just like, okay, boss.
the one doctor always kind of goes back and forth.
Vaughn?
Yeah,
Phantom
the
of
one
the
that gets
Paradise.
stabbed in the neck with
Glasses?
Paul Vaughn. He's like, I don't know about this, but he kind of is just like, okay,
Phantom.
fine, and then he's like, but I don't know, but okay, fine. But I'm like, okay, we get it. Like you're having a hard time with this decision. Got it, cool.
So we're at where they are at Old Blues fighting bikers. The bikers from earlier are with all these other bikers, and they have like tied the bartender up and are just like They're like the Gremlins.
I didn't understand
It's like the
this
scene where the
or why it
Gremlins
happened.
are in the bar.
Did
and
you-
Yeah,
the
it's
baby
exactly
kids
like
are
that,
taking
yeah.
care of
Did
them.
it make any
Except they're
sense
like-
to you, like why this was in the movie?
Because they needed to Chuck Norris
Chuck
fight
Norris
scene.
had
They
to
needed- okay,
fight
besides-
like
besides-
20 people.
They needed
Well,
Chuck
they
Norris to
talk about
clear
it.
the whole
It talks
fucking
about it
bar
on the
room.
box. So I was like, that's what I was thinking. But I was like,
But
maybe
these
I missed
bikers
something.
are having
I
fun.
don't
They've
know.
got some lady. They're doing body shots of beer. They're just pouring beer on a woman and
pretty cool
licking
party.
the beer off of her. And there's people who are just taking off. The ladies are just taking off their shirts because in the 80s boobs were cool.
They're still pretty cool, Mike.
And Charlie and Chuck Norris go into this place, and Chuck Norris is just like, keep your mouth shut. And they go in there, and Charlie's like, all you motherfuckers up against the wall.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
They just all laugh.
I have a
And they're
point
like,
about
all
that.
you motherfuckers up to the bar.
But Mike, you keep mentioning boobs in the 80s. If you want to, if you're watching these movies just for the boobs, there are some shows on HBO that I need to tell you about.
Taxi Cab Confession.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
I'm talking more
Mike,
like
Real
Mike,
Sex
Mike
22.
thinks that Mike thinks they don't
you've
show
seen
boobs
Deadwood,
anymore.
Mike. Like that's just like tits and whiskey.
It really, yeah.
I don't
That's
really
true. I
drink
never really
that
thought about it,
much.
but yeah, I mean, like,
Acting like this trend ended in the 80s. Now it's on television, Mike.
So the girl with the tattooed boobs, the tattooed boob lady,
Yeah.
she starts flirting with Charlie kind of and shows her tits to Charlie.
Tries to
And-
grab him.
well, she
Does he?
tries to grab his. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So Chuck Norris is like, hey, Charlie, go out to the car and call for backup. But Charlie just goes out there and starts talking
About the boobs.
about the boobs.
He's the shittiest cop. He sucks so
Charlie
bad.
rules,
He
man.
doesn't know if he can deal with violence, but he like froze his dog, and he like doesn't do anything Chuck Norris tells him to
He
do
almost
at all.
shot
But
Chuck
he's
Norris.
all heart.
He is all heart. A poor thing.
But
I think Chuck just likes him.
so
yeah,
Chuck
well,
Norris,
he's a good little sidekick guy.
Chuck Norris has the boss in a headlock, but the tattooed titty lady comes over and busts some kind of bottle over his head.
a liquor
And there's
bottle.
just like, I wrote Chuck Norris doing Chuck Norris things. But we go back, so he's kicking all
It's
these
a
people.
liquor bottle.
He's kicking all these people's ass, and Charlie is still out there talking about, I think I might go in there and ask this chick out. He's like in love with the tattooed tit
So
lady.
this is also like Chuck Norris doing this. Like, yeah, they had the bartender tied up or whatever,
Yeah.
but this is after the certain amount of overkill. This is police brutality. Like,
I mean,
Well,
it's more fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun police brutality.
He's
because
unarmed.
it's all white guys.
He's unarmed for the most
a
part.
lot of them are Hispanic.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Well,
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean,
it's Texas.
well, they're fighting him, so
So Charlie's still
they're
talking about
fighting
this.
back. It's not like he's just sitting on him.
And we're like, we're going to fuck you up. And it's not like you pulled a gun.
Excuse me.
But so Charlie's talking about the girl until a guy goes through the door, and a second later a motorcycle comes flying out of the window.
Yeah,
And we
shit's
see
awesome.
Chuck Norris standing there. Everybody else is just laying on the ground where he's kicked their ass.
Okay, so at the end of this movie, this is where I started. I've got a roundhouse count, a flying kick count, a high kick count, and a
tap?
leg sweep count.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
No,
good.
yeah. So we'll this is gonna go after the kill count.
I love
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't do
Kick,
that.
count,
Yeah.
kick, count,
I
kick,
don't
count.
even remember the onions part. So
Don't bring it up.
Can I have
Shut
your
up.
onions?
Shut the fuck up. I'm serious, dude. That
No, I mean, really. Like, are you going to eat that? Blooming onion over
he
here.
said,
So we see
Nick might kill Mike.
Spires talking to John
This might
Kirby.
be the last
who's,
episode
like,
because
just
Nick's
laying
gonna
there.
murder Mike and go to prison.
Guys, don't kill me.
But I'm not gonna have
My
anything
mom
to do
was
with it.
going to cry.
he's gonna watch.
She won't after she goes back and listens to all these episodes
Oh,
and
man.
understands
Then she just
why
said,
we
High
murdered.
five me for killing
She's
you.
like, I still want to be
Like,
close to Michael.
It was
She
time.
doesn't-
No, she's gonna start dating Nick.
Mom.
I'm your daddy now.
So
Mommy and Daddy gonna visit your grave.
so the doctors think that John
Tap
Kirby
dance
is...
all over that
They
motherfucker.
think that John Kirby's totally, like, asleep. But John Kirby is just playing possum. He
John
can hear-
Kirby goes and does things and then he comes back to rejuvenate
He's like,
himself.
but the
He's
doctor was
addicted to
like,
that
John
drug."
Kirby, don't worry about this other doctor who's plotting your death.
Yeah.
He says that shit.
Yeah.
And we see Chuck Norris at home, like, had just got out of the shower when Allison shows up, And I guess now she wants to see him again. And they have some toe curling time with some stupid song.
No, they like.
That's the song. That's a song. That's a song
with,
by Katie Seagal.
No,
Dude, they like fuck all
pig.
day. It's like
We'll
a
play
fuck
it at the end.
montage of them like giggling in the woods and,
And by
fucking.
the way,
and then they'll be like
he
playing in the
looks
garden.
very uncomfortable in all of these sex
I
scenes,
didn't
which
think so.
I thought he did.
he was
And
still a
They're
virgin
playing
at the
on a-
time.
he probably
They're
was.
playing
yeah.
on a hammock, and they decide they're going to go to the mountains in an hour.
Now here's the funny thing: they decide that on a deck out in the woods, overlooking the mountain, saying this is beautiful, and he goes, "I have a cabin in the woods. Do you want to go?" It's like, where the fuck are you right now? Like
We have a different cabin.
Yeah.
We're in
it
her
looks
cabin.
it looks similar but different, but it's kind of the same ordeal.
You have to drive to it.
You go a few yards up.
Yeah.
It's a few yards up to the right.
It's half a mile down the road.
It
like
actually,
another house.
it overlooks a different area than this area.
Maybe they had just fucked every place you could in that house, and they're like, "You want to try another one?" Like, blew the spot in this one.
Dan, is his name Dan?
His name's Dan.
Yeah, he owns like 75 cabins in
A part-time realtor.
Yeah,
Like,
his side hustle.
It's like
I got some rentals up there. You want to go
He's got some
fucking them?
Gatlinburg
Yeah,
cabins.
There's a hot tub in that one.
Okay, so we see Dr. Tom Holman coming home to his wife, Nancy, who's a painter.
Not a very good one.
I mean, I've seen worse at First Friday. I've not gone to First Friday in like 10 years. And they decide they're going to have pizza
I don't
for
think
dinner.
that happens
Well, she
anymore.
decides.
Oh, it does.
Nancy's like, we're having fucking pizza. And we see that John Kirby is outside of a house. Oh no, it's this house at night. And we see Dr. Holman with this huge bologna roll.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I know what I'm seeing
Yeah,
going on this week.
cut
He's
himself off some bologna.
Cutting bologna and drinking beer. And I guess he has a photography lab downstairs. Is that what the red lights are about?
Yeah.
It's developing some kind of film.
Yeah, I don't think he's a photographer.
He's got this thing of bologna
I
with
think
a
it's
big
more
knife.
like a medical.
I mean, that's how it
Do you think
comes.
it's salami or bologna?
Yeah, it's bologna.
It's bologna.
Yeah, that's how bologna
From
is.
my
he's
time in
waiting
the
for his wife
restaurant
to get
industry,
home.
I've used that. I've ordered that. That's
He's waiting
exactly
for his
what
wife
it
to
is.
get home with the pizza, but he just can't wait. He's got to bust out the 2 foot.
It's a lot for like a household to
It's
have.
all
Like
just
that's
so,
like restaurant
and so
shit.
there'll be a knife on the counter for John.
And the way
Kirby.
he eats, he just cuts himself off a slice, like bologna. Like didn't even make a sandwich. Like fry it up.
he's like gotta have it
Yeah,
now.
it's like, and there's a pizza on the way.
So-
like
Kirby goes into stalker vision and he grabs the knife and goes downstairs. And the doc keeps thinking Nancy, is that you? And no, it's John Kirby because the other doctors were talking shit about you, fool. But
Right in front of your face.
the doctor is surprised, but he's smart enough to splash some chemicals into the eyes of John Kirby, and he runs upstairs and he gets his gun, and there's some cat and mouse. He ends up shooting motherfucking John Kirby twice with another 357. But his eyes open up. It's like, oh shit, he's on that drug. And John Kirby starts choking him, and he shoots the motherfucker again, after which he falls down the stairs. And he's walking by John Kirby thinking he's finally fucking dead. And John Kirby grabs his leg like he's Jason or Michael Myers or some shit. And he's choking the doctor. Next thing we see, Nancy gets home with a pizza and some champagne. And she's looking around like, Tom, where are you? And she finds his corpse. Oh no.
is that
The killer's still there. John Kirby's still there.
yeah.
So
Her death was
She runs upstairs and hides in the attic.
Both of their deaths are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially when they get found. Like when
I
they're
like
found
that.
by Allison, yeah. Because it's Allison's brother, right?
Yeah.
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 It's Allison's brother and his wife. So she's hiding, but she opens the door and makes a bunch of noise. And John Kirby slams the door and then slams her head against the wall. And it was cool. Allison, at this moment, gets dropped off by Chuck Norris. And she's like, I'm going to go change and take a shower. And they're packing for their trip. But Kirby hears her. She has no idea what's going on. But she's like, I'm going to go borrow some perfume from Nancy. And she sees this blood in the bed. No, it's dead Nancy in the bed. Oh, she turns around. There's my brother Tom hanging from a, what was that, coat hook?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's on the door.
And he looks cool. He's all blue and shit.
Yeah, it's a really cool reveal. Like it gave me really big vibes. Like
it's a good horror movie vibe for Chuck Norris movie.
In Friday the 13th, when in the second one when she like finds all the dead bodies, or like Sleepaway Camp 2 when she finds all of the bodies in that building, or like Halloween when they're all staged. I liked that.
Gravestones.
That's like that part
Home
especially.
decorator.
I was like, because I remember thinking I hadn't seen this movie before, and I was like, I don't know. I know that has a lot of deaths in it, but we'll see how slashery it is.
It's pretty slashery.
And that part alone was like, okay, slasher. Like, because it was so totally set up. That was a slasher reveal.
So all of a sudden, Chuck Norris is at the front door, and John Kirby's kind of coming downstairs, but like sneaks by. They don't see him right away. And he like goes out the back while they're hugging and she's screaming. And then I guess the cop calls the cops, because then there's like cops in an ambulance at the house. And Charlie's there.
But you mean he called for backup? He didn't just...
Yeah, it's a crime scene, Mike.
Yeah.
They do that.
There's some murders.
It's not just like the cop doesn't think he can handle it himself.
Well,
it's like
she didn't answer the door, and Chuck Norris was there, and he's like, "Hey, can you give me a ride to the station?"
Yeah, he has to call more
She
people.
gave him a ride to
And
the
then they
station
go fuck
earlier.
again. Yeah. We're supposed to do something. Oh yeah, shit.
Dude,
We have to go to that cabin. Can we call
There were
those
feet
other
in
cops
this.
to deal with this? Like,
I wonder if Quentin Tarantino loves the feet in this. Because when they are fucking the second time, there's definitely like toe curling. You can see toes curling.
Well, if he likes anything about it, if
from
he's seen
making love.
it is the feet.
Do people really curl their toes on purpose? It's like, oh, it feels better if you curl your toes.
What are you talking about?
when they're
Like
having
during
sex,
fucking?
I think.
Dude, just do it natural, Mike. Don't think about it. Just fuck.
I don't think anyone thinks about it. And
Just enjoy the person you're with.
I've definitely had like a toe cramp when it has your big toe ever locked up.
Not a lot of things happen.
I think that I think that happens in movies more than real life, because it's something that has for a long time indicated sex happening when they couldn't show it.
Curly.
People would say that, but I don't know if it really happens that much, because usually when I'm having sex, I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
There's
but
that.
I do know that we talked about in 555. That girl, the Asian girl that he kills,
Right.
her toes start curling, and she almost sounds like she likes it at one point, because she starts like moaning. We're like, well, that's okay, but toe
Some people are
curling.
into that, Emily.
Shakespeare called it
curling.
the little
Murdered.
death.
Toe curling is the thing that people describe when talking about sex. I don't know how much it actually happens though, because I'm not really thinking about that
Shit,
when
if
I
you
have sex.
Could you hit on a lady by being like,
Making
hey,
my toe curl.
want to go curl some toes with me?
God, that is lame as fuck.
So,
Lame city.
Well, you know how much
Deputy
he
Charlie.
fucks so much more than us. So
Deputy Charlie. I forgot about that.
no, you don't fuck more than us. You had sex with more people. That does not. That's not the same thing.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
What do you want me to do about it? Don't fucking look at me like that.
I felt him almost look at me. So I was
he looked right past you.
I was looking at Nick.
You know who he was looking at? He was hoping Brad would appear behind you. So he was like, "Where's Brad?"
I love you, Brad. I love you, Katie.
Katie, by the way, toe curling. Let us know when you fuck next time.
Is
with
it
your
like
boyfriend.
that thing with the
I would imagine all that
on the
butt
ice?
sex makes your fucking toes curl.
God damn.
Katie butt sex.
Brown cheese.
Brown
Whoa.
cheese.
I don't know. Don't listen to me. Now let me
What the
talk.
fuck was that?
Okay, so Allison.
Did you just call her Allie?
I did.
You're getting to know her, aren't you? Getting friendly.
Fucking nicknaming these
My little,
bitches.
my little sister's name's Allison.
Yeah, but
So I'm used to shortening Allison to Allie.
you do this a lot, though. What was Joe? What was her name in Dorm the Drip Blood? Joanne, and he started calling her Joe.
Joe.
No one called her
Joe,
that.
Joe.
No one ever called her that.
Joe.
So Charlie has Allison. And they're going to the hospital because that's the safest place in town to go. Why don't they take her to the fucking jail and put her in a jail cell to keep her safe? Because
they don't know.
Well, Chuck Norris stays to investigate, and the doctors are looking for Kirby, and because they know he's missing, and he shows up all bloody, And Vaughn's like, those were gunshots, Dr. Spires.
Yeah.
This is not good. And the Dr. Spires like, the process is working. We just need a little bit more time.
Yeah, the one dude's like, you think maybe he got in some trouble or killed somebody? And the doctor that invented this stuff's like, but what if he didn't?
Yeah.
It's like, what if they were just shooting at him? Like,
Spires like, and Vaughn's like, he's like, you don't get the Nobel Prize for murder. It's pretty good, Doctor.
No, I mean, that is true. I was just like, yeah, y'all picked the wrong, like, there have to be more people that die in this place.
It's not a real hospital.
Where
though.
you don't have to fucking do this experiment on a fucking psychopath.
They should get one of these victims and bring them back to life.
Yeah, like pick one of these innocent people.
Not that lady though. That bitch deserves to die.
God damn,
I hated her
Mike.
voice.
They could have even picked the first guy that hit him at the back. The first guy that dies.
The chair guy.
that hits him in the back. Yeah.
So for some reason, so the doctor on duty that sees Allison is Spires, and he ends up talking to Chuck Norris, and he's lying about Kirby, and he's like, "I'll have the files for you with the body tomorrow." And Charlie and Aileen get there, and Kirby overhears the doctors talking about how they're going to be putting him down soon. So Dr. Vaughn fills a syringe with sulfuric acid, and he pumps into Kirby's neck, and he's like, "Goodbye, John Kirby." And there's a flatline noise, so we're like, oh, yeah, John Kirby's gone. He covers him up with a sheet. And then we see Spires, like, looking at some microscope slides, and he's trying to figure out what makes this work. And we see this, like, hallway that goes underground, kind of, and Dr. Vaughn, thinking that John Kirby is dead, is walking down this hallway, but John Kirby appears out of fucking nowhere and sticks that syringe right into Vaughn's neck.
Yeah, so
Which would that kill you? Just getting stabbed with the syringe in the neck isn't going to kill you.
By the only doctor that like had any sense.
He didn't pump all the shit in it. You see the syringe later, and it's like, oh, there's still fucking sulfuric acid in the syringe.
But I mean, he should have known, I guess, that he's kind of indestructible.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it. Whatever. I mean, he didn't want to he was questioning him from the beginning. So I thought it was his death was sad for me. Not as sad as a future, a soon upcoming death. That's very soon.
So Spires figures something out. We don't ever really figure out what he figures out.
No, because he dies.
But he figures out like why this has been working, and it would actually like help people. But then Spires runs into Dr. Vaughn's corpse.
Yeah, he dies a minute after Dr. Vaughn Spires does. So whatever he's figured out.
We see Charlie doing like a Robert De Niro in a hat impression.
Yeah. Talking to me.
He's like, you talking to me?
Yeah.
He's the best part of this movie.
Yeah, he's good.
And we get some Stalker Vision cat and mouse with John Kirby and Allie. Wait, did I miss something?
No.
Oh, yeah,
the Institute doctor. Because there's another.
Spires is slamming whiskey when Kirby shows up.
There's 5 minutes in between Vaughn and Spires. It's only a minute after that where it's just a random Institute doctor that gets strangled. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But Kirby breaks.
But then that's when
Spires' neck.
Yeah.
But then.
That's when,
Charlie's trying to give some cookies to Allie, and they hear some other guy getting
strangled.
He's like, "Hey, no!"
Yeah, he's getting strangled. So
he's killing me. He's killing me.
Friday the 13th, part 4. That's Friday the 13th, yeah, part 4. Then that's when Charlie comes in to save that guy, but he ends up he gets
like
dead.
The worst bear hug ever. The deadly bear.
He does, but he does. Like they have it in the kill count that he dies here. He doesn't actually die.
He lives long enough to be like, he really hurt me.
Yeah.
He really hurt me.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is sad, dude. When he actually dies, it's like, oh no. I thought Allie was going to die too, but she didn't. She runs to an elevator, and John Kirby's coming after her, and we see Chuck Norris on his CB, because he leaves. And then, like, all the shit starts going down. They're like, damn it, Sheriff, there's a wreck over here. And there's some kind of alert over at the Institute. So he's like, I'm going to the Institute. So he gets in and he finds the security guard. And, like, Aileen's been... Allison's been hiding. She's been hiding in some kind of freezer. I
thought he said aliens at first.
That's what I thought he said.
Aliens are just ghosts. But Allison hears some shit, and she comes out of the freezer where she's hidden. She's podcast.
Like,
but
he doesn't believe in space, remember? So
yeah, if space isn't real, then aliens are just something different than you think.
So you believe in ghosts, but you don't. Okay, what? Go on.
I believe in the. Time
you don't believe in science.
I believe in time more than space, man.
Oh my god.
They're not equal.
Anyway, what's Allie up to?
What's Allie up to?
She finds a stairwell, and Chuck Norris is finding dead doctors, and he finds Charlie, and he's like, he hurt me bad, Dan. And he dies in Chuck Norris's arms, giving real good motive to revenge, because goddamn it, Deputy Charlie's a great, great man. And you can tell Chuck Norris really fucking means business now. But Allison's still walking around making too much noise when there's a super killer like John Kirby around. So Kirby finds her, and Chuck Norris hears her screams.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. He is in a hospital. So they, like... So John Kirby, right, sees Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris just shoots him like 6 times, and he falls out a fucking window, and you're like, okay, he's dead.
Well, no, I didn't think that.
Because he's got some live a long time drug. But Chuck Norris...
He's like Tuck Everlasting.
Fuck. I don't know what that is.
Oh, Chuck Everlasting, it's a book. It's a book about this family that they can never die. And I remember, like, it was one of the first times I was like, mortality sounds pretty okay now, because living forever sounds fucking terrible.
Is it like the vampires in Anne Rice?
No, they're like, they just live a shitty fucking Walton's lifestyle. I feel like it's very like, I don't remember much about it.
Good night, John Kirby.
It was like
living forever would suck. You'd still have to pay taxes. You know?
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing with the flat Earth theory. It's like, okay, I still got to go to work. You know, and like pay taxes.
If you have long periods of time,
how's it affect me?
Interest. You could accrue interest like a motherfucker and be like, easy.
Yeah, but then that goes on
like
forever.
Get rich if I live for 300 years.
I mean, you could just like declare bankruptcy, I guess, at some point. Your credit will eventually go back up. You know, you got time.
So yeah, John Kirby
Start
is like
under
laying
the bridge,
on the
sucking
ground.
dick, and in 200 years you're a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. That's really, pulling yourselves from the boots. What do you call it?
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Yeah.
So
then you have time.
John Kirby's on the ground, and Chuck Norris comes out there, and he turns him over.
If you have a really bad luck like me, that really sucks.
John Kirby's eyes open. He's still alive after that fall, and they struggle some more. And then Allison gets in to, what is that, an SUV? She gets in fucking Chuck Norris's police truck and runs over John Kirby. Oh, you think he's dead? Nope. But Chuck Norris just jumps in the car, and she fucking steps on it.
He wants to get all handsy with her again. He knows what happens if he gets her alone in a car.
He's kind of hurt or whatever. Fucking, when he gets in that car, Allison takes the fuck off. And John Kirby grabs a hold of the bumper, and I feel bad for that poor stuntman because he's getting dragged forever.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty cool though.
He climbs up through the back of the car, and fucking Chuck Norris is like, "Girl, jump!" And he pushes her out, and he jumps out, and there's not a mountain there or anything, but there's a ramp. So the car like goes up in the air.
It goes down these like
and
rocks.
It fucking explodes like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. There's a huge action explosion. But John Kirby's just on fire. He's still alive. And he falls into the water. And I thought he was dead then. No, he's not fucking dead. His head pops out. And Chuck Norris and Allison try to run. But, Chuck Norris like falls and gets hurt. And Allison, oh no, Chuck Norris is like, girl, get out of here. And she's like, no, I'm not leaving you. And then it's time for the big showdown. They have a big fight, during which John Kirby hits a nice double axe handle smash and finally, fucking Chuck Norris is like, I'm gonna throw him in the well, and he does this thing where he switches around, and Chuck Norris is getting put in the well.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point, Chuck Norris is actually dangling in that
In
well.
the well, yeah.
I'm like, I bet he's doing his own stunts. That's some scary shit. Nobody wants to fall in a well, right?
No.
No, baby Jessica didn't. Sorry.
So Allison jumps Allison jumps on John Kirby's back, and then another wrestling hold. Chuck Norris fireman carries John Kirby into the well, and it does this lingering shot down the side of the well, and when it gets down to the water, John Kirby jumps out because he's still alive in the well.
Yeah.
But I guess he's trapped
for the time being.
I mean, just because you can live a long time, that doesn't mean you can make strong fingers to climb up a well.
That's true.
But he has a long time to think about it. But the drug will wear
he
out.
has the rest of his eternity. He's still down there.
Do you think the drug wears off after a while?
I don't know.
Silent Rage 2.
Yeah,
Still silent.
Okay, so there was a Silent Rage 2, but
there is?
no, not really. It just
John
looked like
Kirby gets out of the
it
well?
looked like some Asians were in it, and I don't really think it was a real movie. There was no really information about it. So
no
anyway,
Asians were harmed in the filming of this movie.
No. So kill count 1.
Kill
Unnamed man is stabbed in the head with an axe at 6 minutes. Oh, by the way, first of all, it cost $4.5 million to make it. It made $10.5 million.
That's pretty good.
2 is the landlady. She's hacked to death with an axe off camera.
She had it coming.
Also, did you get Here's Johnny vibes when he's hacking into that door?
I did.
Yeah,
I said all
he
the
said,
shiny.
yeah, shiny.
Here's John Kirby.
Then we have Dr. Tom.
Dr. Tall.
Dr. Tall.
Dr. Tom Hallman.
Dr. Powell. Wow.
And he's hung up on a...
Yeah, sorry. Tom Hallman is strangled at 57 minutes. So that's 50 minutes later after the landlady. And then his wife, Nancy, she has her head bashed against the wall 5 minutes later.
It's a quick one.
Then we have Dr. Paul Vaughn, who's stabbed in the neck with a syringe at 1 hour and 14 minutes. Then we have Dr. Philip Spires, who has his neck snapped at 1 hour and 19 minutes. And then we have just a random institute doctor who strangled at 1 hour and 20 minutes. After that, I changed the order in this because it said Deputy Charlie, but he doesn't really die here.
Man.
So there's another institute doctor. There's another institute doctor that they see killed off screen at 1 hour and 23 minutes. So Deputy Charlie has his back broken at 1 hour and 21 minutes, but he doesn't actually die till 1 hour and 25 minutes when he has the little conversation with Chuck Norris.
From Bear Hug.
From the bear hug, yeah. And then we have Jimmy the guard, who is killed off screen, but his body's shown at 1 hour and 28 minutes. So that's the last kill with 12 minutes left because John Kirby doesn't die. So,
yeah, he can't die.
No,
it's not
I guess
his
not.
fault. But
okay, yeah. So trivia. Oh, I thought you were gonna get the
Jimmy the guard's the last guy to die.
I've got the kick count, but okay, I'm only talking about roundhouse kicks, flying kicks, high kicks, and leg sweeps, not regular kicks, and not the taekwondo stuff.
Okay.
But okay, so
all these together, or do you have a count for each one?
I got a count for each one.
Fuck yeah.
So ironically, there's only 3 full roundhouse kicks in this movie. I guess he was still working on them for Walker Texas Ranger because there are multiple in episode.
Yeah.
Flying kicks, there's 3 of those, and they are fucking impressive.
No,
and he is sailing across
shit.
the fucking room at these people. Just fucking awesome. We got 4 really good leg sweeps.
Yeah.
And man, the high kicks, the thing he got famous for whenever he was marketing those stretchy jeans in the 80s. Yeah. You know, Chuck Norris uses these. High kick jeans.
Yeah.
9 high kicks.
9 high kicks.
Well,
9.
Are any of them a tapper?
No, that's the taekwondo shit I'm talking about. I didn't count that stuff. I'm talking about just complete.
Yeah. Like side kicks cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, dude. Yeah. So yeah, but I was I started counting.
It looks like kicks hurt more in cowboy boots too.
Oh, you know they do.
Is that what Walker's all about?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I started counting because I was like, oh shit, he's about to get in a fight, and I was like, well, yeah, let's see how many roundhouses he throws. Then I started noticing he was doing a lot more shit.
Man.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of trivia that I have on. Director Michael Miller did extensive research into genetic engineering and regeneration before making this movie.
It's got to be as scientific as possible.
Yeah. I mean, kind of wasted time there.
So, okay, then It's Time for Love. I already said this. It's unreleased, and I'm going to play it as the outro, but Katie Seagal, she's in tons of shit, but Peg Bundy.
Peg.
She sang that song. Apparently, Chuck Norris had a difficult time improvising the love scenes because he wasn't used to ever doing that in the past.
He's a virgin.
Just curl your toes.
This was the first film by Chuck Norris's production company, Top Kick Productions.
It's good.
Yeah. December 1982 con artists, this is hilarious, set up a fake telethon to rescue John Kirby from the well, and they made $6.2 million.
Are you fucking kidding
And they
me?
didn't get caught till 2012.
Holy
What?
shit.
Who did this?
These con artists, they set up a telethon to rescue John Kirby from the well.
How do you get caught after
So
that?
this pretended John Kirby,
I don't know.
the villain of this movie, was like some dude trapped in a well.
dude trapped in a well, and maybe some people had seen the movie and were like, "This is hilarious. We're gonna give money to this."
Yeah.
I don't know, but like they made $6.2 million.
Holy shit!
Yeah. And then I don't know why I wrote this quote down, but it said I just wrote down: "Is it axe wound time or is it axe wound time?"
Axe wound. Is that a vagina?
I don't know why I wrote.
Have you ever heard of vagina called an axe wound?
Yes. Yeah. I don't really know why I wrote that down.
Because it kind of looks like an axe.
I have no
We
idea.
know why it's called that, Mike.
We know that part. I just don't know why I wrote the quote down.
Oh.
It's in a quote.
You talk about this shit like a middle schooler.
I know.
Santa's real.
Ron Silver, who played Dr. Tom Hallman, was in Time Cop. He was in a bunch of Law and Order episodes and also West Wing episodes.
Wait, who is this?
Tom Hallman, the Dr. Tom Hallman.
Oh, okay, Dr. Tom.
Stephen Keats, who played Dr. Philip Spires, was in Death Wish. This movie that I hadn't watched till this year, but it's so fucking awesome. The Friends of Eddie Coyle.
I've never heard of the Friends.
Oh
of
my
Eddie Coyle.
god,
heard of
it's fucking amazing.
Is it like made for TV?
No, it's like a classic crime action movie from
Friends
the
of
70s.
Eddie Coyle.
Yeah, it's really, really fucking good. Like really good.
Like French Connection, good.
Yeah, as good as, if not better. Like I would put it up with the French Connection for sure.
With that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Some car chases and shit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
People about to get hit by a car.
And
in real
it's
life.
based off of a book, I believe. But there's some pretty big people in it. Toni Callum, that's the girl who played Allison. She was in The Wanderers. Also, she was in The Sopranos. She's a main character. She's a big character in The Sopranos.
I've never seen no fucking Sopranos.
She was in Double Jeopardy, the movie Double Jeopardy. William Finley, who played Dr. Paul Vaughn, was in The Funhouse, Night Terrors, Sisters, that movie by Brian De Palma, which is good, and The Black Dahlia.
And Toby Hooper's Eaten Alive.
Well, The Funhouse is also Toby Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're in Texas.
Yeah. Brian Libby, who plays John Kirby, he was in 2007's version of The Mist, which is notorious for having like one of the saddest endings ever.
And there's some lady that's a real bitch in it. I've never seen The Mist.
The end.
Patrons, if
the
you want
ends-
us to watch The Mist.
No, I don't.
pay us
I don't
money.
even want to watch the original one. But okay, he was
Oh, yeah,
also
it's
in.
kinda long.
He's also in Shawshank Redemption. And talk about long. He
Green
was
Mile,
in.
too.
He was in Heat.
Oh, shit.
Fucking
Michael
long
Mann?
as fuck. I don't. You know what? I like Manhunter a lot. But Michael Mann
Yeah.
did that. Same vibe as Heat's got
Michael
a lot of the
Mann,
same
that's
vibe.
all.
But I tried to watch it and I was just like, I don't really
That's
like
one with
it.
Pacino and
Yeah, it's Pacino and
De
Val
Niro.
Kilmer and De Niro. And
Sizemore.
Tom Sizemore.
yeah, I mean, it's supposed to
girl
be
in
a
it.
classic.
Who's
but
the girl in it?
What's
don't
her name?
remember.
Fucking.
It's like Pacino's daughter in it or something?
No, that's his girlfriend.
Gabrielle Anwar. I know, Kirby was in The Mist, Shawshank Redemption, and Green Mile. Aren't those all that? He's also in The First Power of Lou Diamond Phillips, which is a movie from 1990
what was the actor's
that I
name
love.
who was in Phantom of the Paradise? The doctor in this?
I don't know. That's Dr. Vaughn in this. I don't know.
Okay,
William.
sorry. Stephen First, I think, who played but that's the guy who played Charlie. He's Kent Dorfman, or AKA Flounder in Animal House.
Yeah, Charlie.
I'm sure he's in other stuff, but like after you.
Rest in peace, Charlie.
But I mean, when you see
he hurt me real bad.
I mean, I know he's been in other stuff, but Animal House is like that's
seminal.
To me, that's seminal, classic.
Hey.
I watched that movie from one of the first movies I ever watched, and I watched it a lot. Yep.
Dude, Steve is so on board.
Yeah, I remember I had a tape where my parents had taped the Blues Brothers and Animal House on the set, like off TV, like the
Wear that
TV
shit out.
cut. Well, at first I just watched the Blues Brothers a lot, and then I was like, I don't know about Animal House, and I just would never give it a chance. But it only took about a year for me to give it a chance, and I was about 5 or 6, and then I watched Animal House, and I was like, fuck Blues Brothers, Animal House rules, and I watched it like every day. And then it was the first CD we ever bought when we got a CD player, was a soundtrack to Animal House. Well, that has that. What was that song on Shama? No. Well, yes, but Shamalama Ding Dong, hey, hey, put the ooh, ma, ma, oh. Yeah, anyway.
Is it rating time?
We've done.
Yeah.
Did you have
kill
more
count? We
facts?
did kick count. I'm gonna start doing kick count on every movie.
Kick out is a good thing to do on a Chuck Norris movie. What do you rate?
every one
Are
of
there
them.
other kicks in the
I'm gonna
movie?
rate it. I'm gonna rate it 2.5 stars.
This movie only had
It's
one
pretty
half
good.
of a kick. Fuck it. What do you rate it, Nikki?
He said
What's up?
2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
I give it 3.5.
I'm going 2.5. We swapped.
I loved it. I really did. I
was
thought
fun.
it.
2.75. I'm going 2.75.
Well, I mean,
it's
I
not as
thought
good
it.
as
I thought it went by
My
super.
Bloody Valentine.
I think it went by super fast, and like it was very action packed.
it was a little long for me.
It's 100 minutes.
It took him forever to get anybody killed.
It's not
No,
exactly
people
a
die
slasher.
in like
Just
7
kidding.
minutes.
I'm trying to be you.
Yeah, it did take 50 minutes in between
There's not
like the
too much
second kill.
Cat and mouse. I mean, nothing really happens.
But there is a lot that happens.
I
So you're
know,
just
I'm just
saying
kidding.
you're saying things that I say, but that are true about other movies and not
that you
true
don't
about
think
this
about
one.
this movie.
Well, that's because it didn't happen in this movie, Mike.
You're right. That's why you didn't say it about this movie, Em.
Thank you
Yeah.
for.
Oh, he's doing it to you now too.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah. How you gonna shorten that?
Well, that Nick's already short.
Yeah.
Me.
Me.
It's still the same like amount to say
Yeah.
Nick, and then it's actually harder to say Nick than Nick.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nick.
Don't fucking finish that.
Nickelodeon.
God damn it. See, my whole thing is that doesn't names don't bother me. It's just make it good, man.
It's a little wild and a little
Eureka.
strange.
It's fucking Nickalicious to you.
When you make your foam out on the range.
from charms.
Okay, so anyway, say gagged on Chuck Norris's high kicks, low kicks, speed kicks.
Stay gagged on
sweet
that
kicks.
baloney roll.
Stay gagged on curly toes.
Stay gagged on that baloney.
I just said that.
Oh, you did? Stay gagged on that acid in the.
Stay gagged on like half a pint of whiskey and 2 shots.
Stay gagged on becoming a needle junkie of Merlot.
Dude, are you
Stay
telling me
gagged
all
on-
I gotta do is mainline wine and I
And you
can
will live forever.
Stay gagged on titty tattoos.
Oh God.
Stay gagged
Charlie's
at the bottom of the well.
Stay gagged on the onions. Can I have those onions?
Okay, stay gagged on all of our social media, Instagram, TikTok, Gag Me with a Knife podcast.
Boom, Betty, bye.
Become a Patreon for member shout-outs, early access to episodes, member requested episodes, and bonus exclusive episodes you won't find anywhere else because they're just going to be for you at www.patreon.com/gagmewithaknifepodcast and buy our merch at gagmewithaknifepodcast.com. We will see you next time. It's going to be rock and roll.
Interesting.